So if you are 21 and you are legally married, you can show that I'm coming with the dependent.
Right.
We are ranked number 1 and we are one of the most prestigious ones. Yes, they can apply for bachelor's, master's as well as PhDs.
And if anybody wants to apply to a university, so what are the basic academic document and other document they need to have? And what about GRE and GMAT for masters?
GRE is not required per se, so it's $50 for undergrad and $50 for masters. It's the same.
And you also have doctorate and PhD program available, right?
Yes, we do. I-20 letter showcases that you have enough funds to survive in US at least for 1 year.
University Unplugged. University Unplugged. University Unplugged.
Welcome to University Unplugged with Mr. PRK. Here we talk about our studies unscripted and unfiltered. Today we have a special guest from USA University, Mr. Akshay Sharma. He is a regional manager and South and Southeast Asia at University of Idaho. This university is located in Moscow, Idaho. It is a public land grant research university. So I like to welcome our guest, Mr. Akshay Sharma, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, shall we start the podcast?
Yes.
So the first one is it a public or a private university?
We are a public land grant research university in the state of Idaho.
So what is the difference between public, private, land grant? So what are the differences?
So public universities are usually funded by the government, or what we in South Asia call as government universities. Private universities are the one which have their own funding, which have a board of directors which work privately. No government involvement is there, and their funding may or may not come from government sources. Within public university you get grants. Like in land grant, the entire land of the campus is given by the government. Then we have water grants, we have air grants. So these are like different type of grants which are given to universities in the US. But broadly it's divided into two parts, public and private.
Okay. And so how old is this university?
That's a very interesting question. And in fact, we are one of the oldest thing to exist in Idaho. When I say one of the oldest, it means we are even older than the state.
Okay.
So University of Idaho was founded in 1889 and the state of Idaho came into existence in 1890. So technically we are even older than the states. There are a few trees and canals maybe which are older than us, but we are pretty old.
So and even I saw in the post that it's till 1970s or something, there was no other university besides this one?
Yes. So basically Idaho started as a research it has a very strong research background, so it started as a research facility which got transferred into a university. So said that in the state of Idaho we are ranked number 1 and we are one of the most prestigious one in that particular region.
Okay. And so student can apply for bachelor, master and research program, right?
Yes, they can apply for bachelor's, master's as well as PhDs. If I speak in terms of acceptance, we are very open and flexible at bachelor's. It gets a little difficult at master's, and PhDs it is much more competitive.
Okay. And if anybody wants to apply to a university, so what are the basic academic document and other document they need to have?
So if someone is applying for undergrad, then they need to have their 10th and 12th, their HSC and SSC. The requirement with Nepal market is we need them USEF attested.
Okay.
So if you're applying to Idaho, you need to have USEF attested documents. Along with that, we need your English proficiency, which can be your IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, PT. Along with that, your passport. We are quite flexible at undergrad level, and we do understand no one writes in their own SOPs and LORs, especially from South Asia. So we do not ask for mandate SOPs and LORs. But if you have any gap in education, then we do ask for a gap letter.
Okay. So what is the minimum academic grades students should have to apply for your university?
It's 3.0 combining your 10th and 12th. Okay. So if you apply with this grade, you qualify both for admissions as well as scholarship.
Okay. What about English proficiency requirement?
So if you are coming in for the IELTS, we need minimum 6.0. If you're coming in with TOEFL, we need around 79. If you're coming in with PT, we recommend 51. And if you're coming in with Duolingo, we need 100.
Okay, so normally all the English tests are accepted by the university.
Yes.
What about SAT?
SAT is not a mandate requirement, but let's say you have given your SAT exam and in the English component you have scored more than 550. In that case, you are not required to give in any additional exam. We can use your SAT English score equivalent to your English proficiency. And once you are admitted, once you get your visa, once you are registering for your classes, we have our own internal test.
Okay.
Again, it has nothing to do with your scholarship, nothing to do with your admission. It's only for us and our advisors to understand what level of mathematics to give you.
Okay.
So if you're coming in with SAT scores, you are not required to sit in for those tests. We can use your SAT score for those tests.
Okay. So what about if without IELTS, PT or TOEFL, do we accept MOI?
No, we do not accept MOI. You have to give either one of the tests.
Okay. And the requirement is same for both bachelor and master.
For master, it increases. The GPA requirement remains the same, 3.0 for your undergrad.
Okay.
And for English proficiency, in place of 6, we need 6.5. In place of 79, we need 81. In place of 100, we need 110. So it increases.
And for PT?
PT is around 53.
Around 53. Okay. And what about GRE and GMAT for masters?
GRE is not required per se, but it's highly recommended.
Okay.
So if you're coming in for the likes of computer science or electrical engineering, we recommend you to have a GRE of 303, 305. Okay. Again, not a mandate requirement, but highly recommended because it increases your chances of getting into the university, getting some scholarship, and most importantly, getting the visa. It shows that you are a serious student. But for few of our courses like food science, which is extremely competitive, we might ask for a GRE ranging from 320 to 325, a GPA ranging around 3.5.
Okay. Now you just told me GPA out of 4, right? 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
What about in percentage?
Roughly around, if I say 3.0, it will be roughly around 75%.
Okay.
And 3.5 would be like 80-85%.
Okay. And what about 3-year bachelor?
3-year bachelor's, I know in Nepal it's big to have a UK degree. I mean, there are a lot of...
Even previous students before 2021, some of them have 3-year bachelor's degree.
So again, for masters, it's very department focused.
Okay.
You can apply with a 3-year bachelor's, but there might be a scenario where department will ask you for external evaluation.
Oh.
So again, it's not saying department will for sure ask you, but there can be an instance, there can be a chance where department comes back saying, hey, we need a best evaluation or we need a third party evaluation.
Okay.
So be open for that.
And what about application charge? Is there an application charge?
There is an application fee. We have a standard application fee across the board. So it's $50 for undergrad and $50 for masters. It's the same.
Okay. Even they apply through Common App?
They can apply through Common App, but again, we don't offer application fee waivers even through Common App.
Okay.
Application fee is there. I mean, anywhere you go, you will find application fee.
Okay, so whether you apply through any agent or you apply through the website of the university or you apply through the Common App, you have to pay $50.
You have to pay
It's
$50.
non-refundable and you have to pay.
Yes.
But if any student defer to the next intake, suppose they apply to general intake, now you know there is a very hassles in getting a interview date. So if they defer for the next intake, do they again have to pay the applicant charge or the same will work?
That's a very good question and a pain point for a lot of students. This is a little tricky with us.
Okay.
We do allow you to defer your application, but the deadline for that is first date of your class start.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm a student and my classes are starting from 16th of August, I should defer my admission by 14th or 15th of August.
Okay.
Ideally, I should do it by 10th or 11th so that I have time in hand. But the last I can do is by 15th or 14th of August. If I'll do it after 16th, then I would be required to pay the application fee again. But if I do it by 15th, I won't be required to pay any application fee.
Okay.
So one can defer, but the timeline is crucial.
Okay, so this will be making their mind very early stages so that they don't have to pay, otherwise they again have to pay.
See, if it's 10th of August and my classes are starting from 16th and I don't have a visa date, there is no chance I can come in for this intake.
Right.
So ideally, if I'm a genuine student, if I'm concerned about my future, I would be deferring by 10th. But if I'm not, I'm just open for whatever I can get, then I'll not defer. In that case, you have to pay the application fee. But if you defer in time before the deadline, you don't have to pay the fee.
Okay. And like how many courses are available and what are the famous courses in the university?
So we have over 93 majors to offer.
Wow.
In terms of famous courses, we are quite famous for agriculture. So Idaho itself is quite big for agriculture. 90 to 95% of overall potatoes consumed by North America comes from Idaho.
Okay.
And a fun fact, Idaho's potato was the first one which was used by McDonald's for their fries.
Oh.
So agriculture is big, then we are big on engineering, and because of the location, we have exceptional opportunities for business courses as well. So pretty much any program which students from our part apply to, they'll have ample of opportunities in terms of internships, in terms of finding something for them once they're done with the degree.
Okay. And so what are the intake available?
So we have 3 intakes. One is spring, which starts in Jan.
Right.
One is summer, which starts in May. Then one is fall, which starts in August. Spring and fall, or Jan or August, these 2 intakes offer you scholarship.
Okay.
May intake doesn't offer you any scholarship, but the fees you pay is same as what you would have paid if you would have come in fall or in spring.
Without
So-
scholarship?
Without scholarship, yes. So the fee remains the same.
Okay. And is there any age criteria for university?
The best part of US as a study destination is there is no taps. I can be 45 years of age and I can still apply for my bachelor's. The question which one should answer to themselves is, do they think they can cope up being 40 or 45 and going for undergrad or for master's first?
Right.
And secondly, can they justify this to the visa officer? Because if you do not get the visa, there is no
Yeah.
point of investing. Because US is an investment. You invest 6 months or 4 months in the process. There is
Right.
no point investing if you are sure that my profile is weak, I may not get the visa. But the best part of US education is there are no age limits, there are no gaps.
What about for underage who is under 18?
They can apply, they need to stay on campus. There are facilities and there are few formalities which they need to do, but they can apply. We have students who apply to us under 18.
Okay. And you also have doctorate and PhD program available, right?
Yes, we do. Like I said, the further we go up the funnel, the competition increases and we become more strict. So applying for a PhD, you need to have an approval beforehand from any faculty.
Okay.
So let's say if I want to apply to PhD into environmental science, there should be a professor on campus who has said that, hey, you know what, make an application, I'll take you as a student.
Okay.
Why that is important? Because while I'm submitting the PhD application, I need to mention that professor over there. There is a question which we ask, who has recommended you, or who has guided you to make your application. Then you have to mention that professor name.
One of the main thing I got from the many student who wants to apply PhD, how do they contact professor? The tricky part.
The
is-
best part for Idaho is our website is very interactive. When I say very interactive, you can find things like average starting salary,
Okay.
what all job designations you can do. Like you go into the program, you will find all the details, fun facts, accreditations, job openings in and around Idaho, average starting salary, mid-career salary, senior level salary, job designations you can work in with that particular degree. And to answer your question, we also have detailed information of the faculty,
Okay.
like the faculty person name, what all they have done, what all research they have undertaken or they are doing currently, along with their email ID. So as a student, as an applicant, I can go through all the details and I can make a decision much more concrete on which professor to contact.
Okay.
Now, if you are contacting the professor, have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Because especially for Idaho, our professors, we do not allow our senior year or our third year or fourth year or even our master's student to come and teach the classes.
Okay.
Our faculty take classes. Let it be freshman, let it be second year, any year you are in, faculty would be taking the class. So our faculty members, they take classes, they overlook research, they evaluate applications, they clear doubts. We have open door policy where students can walk in if the professor is free and can have a one-on-one discussion.
Okay.
And with the time left, they do their own research and they evaluate or reply to student queries. So have a lot of patience and give them time to get back to you.
Yes. So this will, I think, apply early. This will start maybe
Yes,
just
apply
a year
early.
back maybe.
If you are looking out for fall of 25, ideally this is the time you should start reaching out to
Yeah.
professors.
And how much gap is accepted?
Again, same. US doesn't have any capping on gap, so we do not have any capping on gap. You should answer yourself whether you can justify the gap. If I have a 5-year gap and I can justify it well to the visa officer, then I should apply. If I have a 2-year gap and I can't justify it, like for 2 years I was just preparing for IELTS, that's not a justification.
Yeah.
But if you have a justification like for 2 years, I was working in a company supporting family business, I did this, I learned this skill set, then the gap doesn't matter.
Okay. So if you have a gap, but you think that you can justify to the visa officer and to the university,
To the university.
and it's a genuine one, then there won't be any issue.
True.
Okay. And like normally many of the university, everyone knows that you get I-20.
Yes.
But we know that university also give them an admin letter sometime or offer letter. So is this the same with the?
No, I mean it's the same for us. The difference between the two is admit letter confirms that you are eligible for admission and you have been admitted. We have a seat for you. Once you send in your financial documents, we issue the I-20 letter. I-20 letter showcases that you have enough funds to survive in US at least for 1 year.
Right.
So I-20 is the letter you need for filing the visa, and whatever documents you send us, let's say it's your family saving, it's your own account saving, it get published in your I-20 in your source of funding.
So how long will it take?
If again there are two timelines. If you are applying for undergrad along with all of your documents, when I say all of your documents, I mean your academics, your English, your passport, your financials, everything, then you can expect offer plus I-20 within 21 to 25 days on a higher side. If you apply only with your academic documents, we need 15 to 20 days to publish a decision. Then once you share your financials with us, we need another 6 to 7 days to issue the I-20.
Okay.
For masters, the timeline can be anywhere between 4 to 16 weeks because of the same reason which I shared. And again, we count the number of days from the point when entire packet is complete, which means we have received your documents, you have paid the application fee, and there is no outstanding criteria.
So if the students submit all the document, they can expect within a month.
For undergrad, yes.
And for masters?
Anywhere between 4 to 16 weeks.
Okay.
Depending on when they have applied. On an average, I have seen students hearing back from the department within 4th or 6th week.
So that means students will apply as soon as they can.
Yes.
For the next intake.
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of scholarship opportunity are available for the students?
We have a defined scholarship for undergrad. So I'll talk more on undergrad scholarship. Our undergrad scholarship, anyone coming in with a 3.0 GPA will qualify for a yearly scholarship of $15,966.
Okay.
When I say yearly, the total scholarship would be 15,966 multiplied by 4. And after the scholarship, the tuition fee will be around 12,700 per year, which is really reasonable if you're looking out for a good ranked university.
Right.
Right. For masters, we don't have a defined scholarship because department controls it. Said that once you make an application, department will surely notify you of whatever funding or scholarship you are qualifying for.
But how much is the fee for masters?
Master's fees is around $31,000.
So
on the
on
I-20.
average, how much can they expect for a normal course like business or IT?
We don't have business masters. We
Okay.
have masters into engineering and science.
Okay.
We have seen students who are studying free of cost in Idaho for masters. Idaho has lot to offer as a university at both undergrad and master's level. It's up to the student how well they can grab it and how good they are with their skill set. Because we do have live projects. When I say live projects, our students go on site and work with our partner company rather.
Okay.
But again, you need to be a genuine student and you need to be on campus. So for masters, there is no capping. It can be anywhere between 0 to 80 or 50 or whatever department has funding for that intake.
Okay. So that means on an average for undergrad it will be 12,000 something if they have
Yes.
more than 3 GPA, and that is the minimum GPA required to apply
Yes.
for Nepal.
Yes. For anyone, we have
For
a standard requirement across the globe. So we need a minimum of 3.0 GPA. For few courses, you can get admitted with a 2.8, 2.5, but then again, you will not qualify for the
The scholarship.
scholarship. And I'm sure from Nepal, no one will choose without
Yeah.
scholarship.
Yeah, everyone is looking for a scholarship.
Yeah.
And suppose, as we discussed before about the defer process, how many days will it take to have a new I-20 for the defer student?
So once you defer within the timeline, it takes around 5 to 6 days for the team to issue you the new offer letter as well as I-20.
And one more, like in terms of financial part, like the student who is going to show their fund, how old do you accept the fund?
US doesn't have the concept of keeping funds for a minimum duration. For US, the main requirement is funds should be readily available. So if you have made your account, you have funds in your saving, the bank should write it that these funds are readily available. Fixed deposit, if you are showing, the bank should write it that this is a fixed deposit but the funds are readily available. So in US, more than the duration, funds being available readily or in liquid is much more important.
And I mean to say that how old bank balance do you accept?
Again, we don't have the minimum timeline that it should be 1 day old or 10 day old, but it should not be more than 6 months old.
Okay, so within a 6 month
Yes,
from the application date.
Within the 6 months from the statement of your account.
And it will be equivalent to 1 year tuition fee, living expenses.
1 year tuition, on campus accommodation, your insurance, your books and supplies, and personal expense.
So that much, both for the master, bachelor. On an average, $45,000 will work for a bachelor.
After scholarship, we need the person needs to show $30,800, 31 if we are rounding it up, for the I-20.
And for masters?
For masters, it's on a higher side. It's around $46,000.
Okay. And do you accept dependent?
Again, as a university, we do not say that you can't come with dependents. Your living expense increases.
Yeah.
So if you're coming in with a dependent, you need to show $22,000 for undergrad level.
Extra.
11,000 for you,
You.
11,000 for your dependent.
And the living expenses also.
This is the living expense.
And that means now they need to add tuition fees.
Yes. So 11,000 plus 11,000 plus 12,700 of your tuition plus 3,000 for insurance, 1,800 for books, 2,200 for insurance, 3,000 was personal expense.
So that means they can apply at the same time for undergrad also with dependent.
They can. I mean, they need to declare on their I-20 that they would be coming with a dependent, and they need to show their funds accordingly.
Okay. So university accept. Because in Nepal market, some of the university what they say that you can only apply after 6 months after you get a visa.
No, no university will guide you on visa. So in US, at least for the public universities, they don't guide you on visa because that's not our place to firstly guide anyone. We recommend. Again, for Idaho, we do not recommend such thing, but seeing the market trend, there might be people who will recommend you, but we do not have any such requirement that you don't show your dependent. In fact, if you'll see our certificate of financial responsibility, we do ask you if you are coming in with the dependent beforehand.
Okay.
So that we can accordingly mention that in your I-20.
Is there any extra document does university required? Like maybe the marriage certificate or something?
No, nothing. We need you to declare genuinely that you are coming in with the dependent and then show funds accordingly.
What about age?
Again, US is open for age.
Like I heard in the market that you need to be 21 years old to bring the dependent.
No.
So even 19 years age a student can apply.
Yes,
with
but
dependent.
Yes, but then again to the visa officer, you should be able to justify who the dependent is and why. I mean, if I'm 19 years old age, I can't take my mother as my dependent. Right. So that goes without saying. Usually it's master's student who are more acceptable for bringing dependents over undergrad student. But let's say there is a mature student, I mean above 25, who is going for his undergrad and is married, can bring dependent.
Okay, so that means it is a myth that student under 21 can bring dependent. That is a myth.
If they are married, they can bring.
Even because Nepal legal marriage age is 24 now. So if anyone is 20 years above and they are married in Nepal, they can apply with a dependent.
Yes,
They should not be 21.
No, if they are married legally, then in their financial document they can show that they are bringing a dependent. A dependent. So I'll just explain what dependent means.
Yes.
A dependent is a person who is directly attached to you and is dependent on you. Sadly, parents do not qualify for that. It's your partner. So if you are 21 and you are legally married, you can show that I'm coming with the dependent.
Right.
But you can't say that, hey, my mother is my dependent and I'm coming for undergrad with her. That won't work.
Okay, so that's the one myth we busted. Because in Nepal, most of them say that you have to be 21 years above, then only you can apply with dependent or you can bring dependent.
Usually why they say that is if you are under 21, you have to stay on campus. So having a dependent on campus, it gets a little tricky.
Right.
But if you're 21 and above, you can stay off campus. So having a dependent and then going off campus becomes much more easier.
And does student need to be on a hostel on a 21, everyone?
For first year, yes. If you're coming in for fall, then for 1 year you have to stay on campus if you are under 21. And if you're coming for spring, then you need to stay on campus for 1 semester.
Okay. So after 21, they can move out and stay near the campus.
No, even if they are under 21, after the first year completion, they can still move out.
Okay. So, but for under 21, they have to stay on campus.
For first year.
Yeah. And you have enough accommodation, I hope.
We have enough accommodation.
And how expensive is it?
So again, we have various segments of rooms to offer. On an average, what we ask is $11,000. So I'll say 11,000 is what we need
For per year.
per year. If you're staying on campus, it includes 1 year of your accommodation, meals, and basic amenities. Once you move to off campus, you can survive for $5,000 or $6,000, depending on your lifestyle.
Right. And does accommodation also include foods?
Yes, it does. So it's your dorm plus your meals and basic amenities.
Okay. So any student who is traveling to your university for studying, they don't need to worry about hostel for a place to live.
Yes, my suggestion always to students is book your accommodation beforehand. So if you are coming in for fall, book your accommodation beforehand. If you're coming in for spring, book your accommodation beforehand. Do not do that you land in US, you reach the university and then you want to book your accommodation. Do not do that.
That may be a problem.
That may be a problem. Plan in advance. Go with planning. Do not go without any plan.
And even master student can stay in a hostel, right? If they want.
If they want, they can stay, but for them there is no mandate requirement for staying on campus.
And one more thing is that insurance part. So student have to have insurance.
Yes, I'll tell you why. Let's say, God forbids, there is any medical emergency. You fell while doing something. You fell down the stairs. There is a medical emergency, and you need to be operated. If you have the medical insurance, the university or the hospital or anyone who would be working on you will not wait for any approval.
Right.
They'll straight away start operating you or working for the best way to provide you the medical help you need. But if you do not have any insurance or you do not have the insurance from the university, they'll wait for approvals, they'll wait for money.
Right.
And if you do not have any insurance, it will be a heavy dent on your pocket. So always go in with the insurance from the university. Let it be any university. Always choose the insurance of the university.
Okay.
It doesn't cost much. It's at least for Idaho it's 2,200. Doesn't cost that
For
much
a year.
For a year, and you pay semester wise. It's not like you have to pay 2,200 upfront. You
Okay.
pay semester wise, but you are secured. Let it be a dental procedure or any procedure depending on which insurance you have taken. It is covered. So you are secured.
Yeah. And now let's talk about OPT and CPT. So is everyone every student will get OPT?
Again, OPT is not something guaranteed. It's not a privilege to begin with.
Okay.
It's a facility which has been provided to you, which you can use to strengthen your skill. It cannot be that a student says, I have completed my degree, give me my OPT. It doesn't work that way. You have 90 days time frame to find a job or find an internship where you can work, and then your OPT comes in. So there are a lot of consultants I know of, like not personally, but I heard they say, "Oh, study in US with 3 year of work permit." It's not a work permit. OPT is not a work permit. OPT is not guaranteed. OPT is not a privilege. It's a provision to help you out, to utilize international exposure, brush up your skills, and then go back to your home country and reach a level where you are already leaps ahead from students doing the same program or students coming with the similar interest. OPTs and CPTs are for students, but not to exploit, but to learn from them.
Okay. OPT means optional practical training,
Yes,
and
in the
CPT
name
means
itself, it has optional.
curriculum practical training.
Yes.
So, and normally student can apply for 1 year OPT, and if they have done STEAM course,
Yes.
they can apply extend to 2 years more,
Yes,
right?
Yes. The benefit of OPT is you do not need to have like a full-time job. You can even have like 2 part-times.
Okay.
So that's the plus point of OPT. So basically, it works to give you the real-time experience, plus also to get a real-time full-time job.
Yeah.
Right. So for STEM, it's 1+2, but 1 year is standard for everyone.
Yeah. Only an STEAM course can.
It's 1+2.
Yeah. So to make it clear, everyone, OPT is different to PSW of other countries.
Yes, OPT is different from PSW. In fact, trust me, no countries, and even the countries who promote we have 2 year of PSW, it doesn't mean you complete your degree and you have 2 years to roam the country or you have a good time. Again, it's up to the country to, it might be the country said that we have a 2 year PSW, but you will only get for 1 year. You can't go back and say, hey, I got for 1 year. They're like, you are qualified for 1 year, right?
Yes.
So do not get blinded by this myth that if I study for 3 years, I get a 2 year PSW 4 guaranteed. What will you do for those 2 years if you don't have a job?
Right.
Right. You are going in as a student, taking loan, working part time. Those 2 years you won't be having a gala time.
Right.
Right. So be smart, calculate everything, plan everything. It's the same. OPT will give you much better exposure, and it will help you find a better job if you use it systematically and with complete good planning.
Right. So how is the internship opportunity for a student at university?
So-
internship, practical.
Okay, so for all our undergrad degrees, we have something known as co-op or cooperative education. Just to everyone who is watching us or would be listening us later, for them, your co-op gives you an opportunity to take a break from your education for 6 months and work full-time anywhere across the globe.
Okay.
Then you come back and you resume your education from the point where you had left it. My personal recommendation to the students is do it after 3rd year or 7th semester, because by that time you would have gained basic knowledge of your field, you would have a major and a minor, you would be working on your major, and which means you would be having better skill set to go to the company, showcase your skill and land a job.
Right.
I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed that you will find a job, but chances are very high that for 6 months you are working in a company and you have a good skill set, they'll let you go. The best they'll do is they'll ask you to work part-time for those 6 months or for 1 year, and then take you as a full-time once you are done with your degree.
Okay.
Again, it's your hard work, it's your skill set, it's just one platform which we are providing. Apart from this, we have summer internships, specifically for computer science. We have summer internships with cyber corps, focusing on cyber security, and for other fields as well. We have multiple internship options available. Not internship, but something on similar line. We have something known as Grand Challenge Scholars Program, and within US only 120 universities are participating in it or are allowed to participate in it. The essence of this is students coming up with solutions or students coming up with projects which address modern challenges and modern issues. So if you're good with your skill set, one of our NEPLI alumni, Vishal Thapa, did an interdisciplinary research and participated in this program. He got a stipend of $5,000. So you can just Google him up. He completed his undergrad from Idaho, and I guess he did his master's from MIT, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so they can have a co-op. So
Yes.
can you tell me the difference between co-op and just an internship?
In internship, it will be for a smaller duration of time. Co-op is something for a bigger duration, like for 6 months, and you take a break from your education. In your internship, you are not taking a break, but you are doing it during your break time. Like between semesters, you do internships, and your full semester, you do co-op.
Okay.
So duration is the difference.
And co-op can also be paid?
It is paid. Once you leave South Asia, anything you do is paid.
Okay.
On an average, we have seen our students getting paid somewhere between $18,000 to $28,000 while working in co-op.
Wow.
So that's a good amount.
Right. And can student work in campus?
Yes, they can work part-time, 20 hours per week. Again, my recommendation to students is do not be rigid.
Right.
Keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. Have a better skill set in networking. If you're good with that, you'll easily find a part-time job.
Right.
But if you're sitting in your dorm and complaining that I'm not getting any part-time, you will not get any
Right.
part-time. We have good number of part-time jobs. It's just that you need to go out, you need to apply, you need to sit in the interviews, and you need to clear those interviews. We have one app called Handshake for students who are joining us. They can download that app. All the job openings on campus get posted over there, and from there they can apply.
Yeah. But the one who is very good in networking, who has a extra skills, they're gonna land the job.
Yes, they will easily find a
No
job.
job will come at your door.
No job will come at your door, and don't be rigid.
Right.
Don't be, I'll only work at the department or I'll only work in the library.
Yeah.
Even if there is a job at a cafeteria, be open to do that.
Yeah.
Be a cashier at a cafeteria. It's a part-time job.
Everything is experience also.
Everything is experience. It's not like forever throughout your life you would be doing that job. It's
Right.
a part-time job. Do it for a month or two till the time you do not find another part-time.
Right. And what about RA, TA, PA option like research assistantship?
Again, we are big on research, so RSA goes without saying. In fact, the best part in Idaho is we do allow our undergrad students to participate in any ongoing research. 2 of our 3 undergrad students are active participants of research, which means if you see any research going on campus, let's say we have a research going on with NASA, let's say, on campus. As a student, I find, oh, this is something which I want to do and it aligns with my core area or my subjects. I can go to the professor. If there is any opening or if there is a way professor can absorb me and I meet the minimum criteria, they'll take you in. They'll not say, please come back once you're a master's student or once you're a PhD student. So we are big on research. And for our masters, we have RAs, TAs and GAs. We offer those.
Okay. And one out of the box question, like if any student go to university, finish their bachelor, and they did 1 year maybe OPT, and again they want to continue masters, so they can continue from being in your university or being in USA.
They can easily do that. Plan well in advance, because applying for masters, again, every university has a different timeline, right? It should not be that you outburn your stay in US and you do not have anything, and then you are coming back and then you are again going. So while you are there in US, while you have your active F1 status, decide what you want to do and apply beforehand. They can continue with their masters in Idaho itself if they want, and if they want, they can look out for other options as well.
So they can do every process from there. They don't need to leave the country.
Yes.
If they are on valid visa,
Yes.
the visas will be maintained.
It should be maintained. That's why plan in advance.
Yeah. And is there any kind of myth you want to break about your university or maybe of USA?
Of US, yes, of course. One of the biggest myth which lot of Nepali and South Asian students have is we'll land in US and we'll run away.
Yeah.
Right? Trust me, it will not help you out. It will not help your siblings, direct siblings, and it will not help your countrymen. Right? If you're coming to Idaho, for instance, and from there you are going to some other colleges which are not as prestigious or which are, let's say, community colleges, you are hampering your record, because it would be reflected once you'll start looking out for jobs. It would be reflected that a person came in for a university, then moved to a community college.
Right.
For what reason? No one knows. All of a sudden he had an uncle or aunt.
Yeah.
And when your siblings would be applying for the visa, he or she would be grilled that why this took place, because he or she, despite being a genuine student, would be looked in the same view that she is a runner.
Yeah, and it will impact her.
It will
or
impact
him.
and anyone. Your main reason coming to US is you're coming in for studies. Trust me, at least for Idaho, I can say we have ample of opportunities to offer, which will reduce your expense. Be on campus, keep your networking skills top notch,
Right.
keep your ears open, and be a part of the community. After 4 years, you will have so many opportunities. In fact, within those 4 years, you will have so many opportunities.
Right.
Summer internships, like we spoke, our tuition fee is less. You work part time, you reduce your expense. You do summer internships, you reduce your expense.
Right.
You do co-op, you can earn almost 2 years of your tuition fee working in co-op, right? And for computer science, our average starting salary is more than $80,000.
Oh.
So your average starting salary would be more than your 4 years of
Tuition fee.
investment.
Yeah.
So take it as an investment, stick to the campus, show to anyone and everyone that, hey, I opted this university, it was my decision and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Don't get influenced, don't have that sheep mentality that, hey, my friend is transferring out, I'll transfer out. Why? Because my friend is transferring out. Don't do that. Live up to your decision.
But again, for the third year, they have to come back, right? If they even go for a community college, looking at after the phase, but for the third year, they have to come back.
They'll have a lot of difficulties with that, because they would be the fees which they would have been paying. I'm sure they'll save good $5,000-10,000, but then from there applying again up to the university will be a challenge, and every university will see that, hey, he might run away. Right. So don't do that. Map out your expenses, be smart, stick to your decision, complete your degree, and see what great offerings you will get.
And can siblings apply at the same time? If there is a brother and sister of a similar age applying for the same level, can they apply?
If the family can afford, then yes, they can apply. It's completely up to the family. If they can afford sending two
Why I am
students.
asking you this question is that they have a same parents, so they are going to show you the same account fund. So that funds will be a bit high, able to afford both the students.
Yes, they can apply. In fact, we have lot of brothers and sisters studying on campus. One which I remember is one of the brother came to us in spring intake as a transfer student, and his younger brother came to us in fall intake.
Okay.
So both the brothers are there on campus studying with us. One is studying computers, second is studying electrical. So yes, siblings can apply as long as the family can justify the funding.
Okay. And any tips or things regarding a visa interview? Because the main thing is visa.
Don't be scared of the visa interview. Even if you are rejected, I hope you are not, but even if you are rejected, it's not end of the world.
Right.
Don't feel that pressure on you that, hey, I have to clear this. This is the only thing I was put on this earth for. Right? Be calm, relax, and the most important thing, be a genuine student. Don't mug up answers. Like if both of us are applying for US interview,
Right.
your story might be different from my story. Your reason of choosing a university would be different from my reason of choosing the university. Stick to those reasons. Don't say, when I was a kid, I wanted to go to US. No, when you were a kid, you were playing with your toys in the mud, running after each other. Be genuine. That, I met this person, for example, and he informed me about this particular university. I researched about the university. This is what my inclination is, and this is what university is offering. Have your own story. That visa officers are not sitting there to reject your visa.
Right.
They are sitting there to approve your visa. But you should be smart enough to present your answers and be genuine. Show your story and then go for the interview.
Okay. Is there, we are at the last of the podcast, so is there anything you want to say to our viewers, to our students?
It's the same. Do not run away. Stick to the campus. Be a genuine student. Don't get excited or don't get influenced by others. Focus on your education. Build your own story. And at least in Idaho, I can guarantee you can have ample of opportunities to have a really good time if you're looking for studies genuinely. Because ours is a smoke-free campus and we have no alcohol policy in dorms.
Okay.
So we are pretty much like South Asian parents, you study first.
Yeah. And you will have a lot of Nepalese friend over there
Yes,
also.
we have a very strong Nepali community, so you will have lot of Nepali students in and around in Idaho. In fact, our students Nepali community is very active, and they do have cultural nights, or they do have special events called Flavors of Nepal,
Okay.
where they cook in thakali, they cook in dal bhat, momo, and chicken and everything Nepali style. So you will have a good time over there.
Out of the blues question,
Mhm.
what about security? Because we have been hearing a lot of gunshots in university, college,
Mm-hmm.
racism sometimes also. So what about
Idaho
it?
is one of the safest places you can be in if you are in US. It's the fifth safest state in the US, and as a university, University of Idaho is second safest campus in US. Again, we are a land grant university, which means we have a huge campus. Huge campus cannot come inside the city, right? We are a little on the out, and we are not a party school, so we get to control everything.
Okay.
Right? And it's really beautiful, the campus. The city itself is really nice. The state is extremely beautiful. In fact, I'm moving away from the question, but Idaho is also known as gem state of US, because if I remember correctly, there are 72 different type of gems found in Idaho.
Okay.
And one particular gem is only found in Idaho and India, nowhere else. So it's a lovely location to be in, and do not worry, it's one of the safest places.
Okay. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I hope you like this conversation and all the informations. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.